So when I talk about St. Mary's Kenyatta family hoodlums, I don't mean all St. Mary's alumni. I mean a specific crop of people. They are the tiny minority. They are actually probably less than 10 individuals who subscribe to the ideals and the depravity of the Kenyatta family criminal enterprise. Because I've met some good St. Mary's alumni, one of them being somebody like Mwalimu Mati, the former head of Transparency International in Kenya, a man of impeccable character, a genius. These are the people we should be having in our offices or in our corporate boardrooms, not the jokers that we have now who are just thinking of ways of exploiting Kenyans. So St. Mary's has also, given us a good crop of people. There is another one we buried the other day. He's called Dr. James Munene, a very brilliant doctor, cardiologist. At the prime of his career, he would do four open heart surgeries in a day. So you can imagine the level of skill, and his passing meant a great loss to the country. So that school, like any other, has its rotten apples. There are few people who give the institution a bad name. And these are the people who followed the way of the Kenyatta kakistocracy. They were appointed in key positions to ensure that the kakistocracy maintained their dominance in business, in politics. And they were just people used to rubber stamp his depravity. So I'd mention one of them, I think, and I'm not mentioning those in private practice, the ones who work for Kenyatta's companies. That's because they've chosen that direction. That's their life. Nobody gives a crap about what they do in their free time. But the ones who've been appointed in public office, man, we have to audit your performance. The last 10 years have been a nightmare because of your collective stupidity. Like one of them is Jomo Geshaga. Jomo Geshaga was a personal assistant to Uhuru. His only claim to fame was impregnating Nairobi girls and getting his sister a gig as a CEO of KICC. Nothing else. And just running around Uhuru pretending that he's very busy. You'd have thought he's an inventor of high repute. He has patents pending there, somewhere, that he has sold some genius inventions to Elon Musk. But it's just another bootlicker who was engrossed in a profound sense of self-importance. Now there's that one. There's this other one called J. Muturi. J. Muturi was appointed as a Solicitor General. Can you imagine? The highest lawyer in the country. And he had never won any court case in his private practice. And he was made the Solicitor General. And then later, he went to work in State House. But when he was a Solicitor General, he was always the one presenting bills to Uhuru. So he's the one who used to draft those bills for Uhuru. And then he's the one who used to go to Parliament to bribe the MPs with 10,000 bob in the loose. Yeah, that's the guy. He used to run around there chasing MPs. No. There was one time they stayed there. They were passing, I think, the security bill, which has since been declared unconstitutional by the High Court. And Jay was there chasing. And that bill was passed at night, if you remember. It was passed at night by these same idiots who are masquerading as change. So don't trust them, please. They were passing it at night. So J. Muturi is now, and I saw him in the newspaper. He's harboring delusions that they can rebrand one day and we'll accept them, and we expunge this toxic phase of their lives. They hope that they can expunge it in our collective memory, in our collective conscience. No. We cannot forget. We cannot let it slide. They have inflicted severe damage on the economy. We must talk about it. Anyone telling us that we should move on from where? How do we move on from people who died because of a lockdown? How do we move on from all these other things that happened? Kianjakoma boys who were killed by police. We are supposed to move on from that. Rubbish. Then there's another one called George Kariuki wa Kenyonga. George Kariuki, he used to work at Heritage Hotels owned by the Kenyatta family criminal enterprise. Then he was transferred to State House, charge of catering or something. He had some post there. But his primary role was carrying whiskey. He used to carry Glenlivet for Uhuru in his pocket. Uhuru can't function without pints. So Wakenyonga was one there behind. Hey, wait, bro, where's the pints? Hey, swing the pints over here. And that's his role. That was his role. These are people who could have contributed greatly to the economy, but you reduce yourself to somebody who carries whiskey for another man. You sick in the head. But then, because if you listen to the Kenyatta family and if you follow what they don't do things haphazardly. When they place somebody, they place him with an objective. And that Wakenyonga guy, you'll notice he was in charge of catering at a time when the budget for entertainment at State House soared to greater heights. It soared to the billions. That's when we got new cartels. That's when we got new cartels like Wonder Joy are in every, and then there was all these silly events that Uhuru used to attend. Silly events where he makes silly jokes, and then idiots there are laughing, but they've laughed because they've been given 2 Gs to attend. But you remember those big domes which started appearing out of nowhere because Kibaki never had them. Kibaki never needed to go and sweet talk people in their respective counties, but here. And even this new regime has taken on to it. There is always a meeting in a tent, and that tent is costing money that you would have even expected the State House by now to have acquired their own tent so that you save the cost. But no, there has to be entrepreneurs behind. So that's the time Wonder Joy checked in, and they were everywhere, and then, it became a whole cartel. So that Wakenyonga was there to oversee this heist. And so these are things we should be talking about. Yeah? So when we talk about St. Mary's Kenyatta family hoodlums, we don't mean all St. Mary's alumni. They're cool guys. I've met them. I've met some of you. You're cool guys. But there is this tiny minority who took over and have been exploiting St. Mary's name for personal gain. So those are the ones who worked in public service. We must audit your performance. Who do you think you are? That we'll not talk about, that we are supposed to move on. Move on from what? Move on from economic genocide that you inflicted. That you must be crazy, you must be nuts. You must be sick in the head, man. We must talk about your role in the destruction of the Kenyan economy. And we will continue serializing even more of those St. Mary's degenerates. There is one who was a PS of the petroleum, whatever. There is, we must talk. Because this is just the beginning of our healing process. Healing, I'm not too sure about reconciliation, but we must heal. And part of our healing is ventilating about you people. And other Kenyans should stop revering these people. These are just thugs. You're invited for a party by them. You don't have to attend. Be proud. Be proud of yourself. Respect yourself.